Guy I'm talking to, 22 meters, tried to convince me, 19F, to take birth control. So for some backstory, I used to be on birth control, but I found out more about the side effects. Links to depression, and overall I hated the fact I had to inconvenience myself every day just so a guy could get more pleasure out of sex and not use protection, which would also make me at risk of STDs. So I stopped taking it. This was a huge step in me loving myself more and self-respect, because no longer was I putting my needs below someone else, and it was a step in empowering my own body and taking control over myself again, and not altering my hormones for a guy's approval. So I stopped taking them, and it's a very strict boundary I have up that I've told this guy about before, but I guess he forgot. We were talking tonight and he starts asking me why I'm not on birth control. I tell him my reasons, and his argument is that condoms are more expensive. I told him if my vagina isn't worth £1 or less, then you can go find someone else. He then continues to argue that birth control is free. Convenient. I tell him about the side effects and he's like, nah, they're not that bad. So now I feel very upset that he's continuing to try to convince me, and that I need to even justify my choice about my own body to him. I told him sex is about more than pleasure, and he asks me what it's about then, which tells me that in his mind it is about just pleasure. Which is fair to him, but I thought it was about a lot more than that. Overall, I feel like he's shown he doesn't respect me at all, and I'm considering cutting communication with him despite him not understanding where he crossed the line. Edit. I just blocked him. It was extremely hard for me, having been in an abusive relationship before. I'm so quick to accept the blame and assume I'm overreacting, but I knew I had to do this to prove to myself that I've healed and that I'm mature enough to end something that is toxic for me regardless of the pain. It's gonna be rough because losing people had always been tough for me. But thank you to everyone for telling me your opinions and affirming that I'm not as crazy as I think I am. Like you said, if you're not worth $1 to him, you know you're worth it. Move along and find someone else. You control your body and he controls his. If he won't take steps beyond pleasure and you want more than pleasure, you know the answer. You two are incompatible at that point, because you both have base opinions at odds with each other and won't budge. You shouldn't budge, I agree with you. He won't budge because all he cares about is pleasure, not you. Just say, this isn't working out. End the argument and go separate ways while you can do so amicably. I tell him about the side effects and he's like, nah, they're not that bad. My eyes just rolled so hard I saw my brain. Gotta love when men think they know better than women regarding female anatomy and birth control pills. For some women, they are that bad. Honestly, if he can't be an empathetic human being who cares about your everyday comfort and well-being instead of his own 20-minute pleasure, I couldn't be with him. Do it. Cut him off. He doesn't respect your body or your choices. He's trying to mansplain the pill to you. He reckons that his reading about the side effects is somehow more accurate than your actual experience of them. How is this even a question? Dude is a tool. Him being too dense to understand that is not a point in his favor. He cares about not wearing condoms than your feelings. Simple as that. I'd move on to the next dude who will understand you and wear the condoms with no complaint. Though, I understand you don't want to be on the pill. I would look into birth control methods that you can be in control of. Condoms only have a real use effectiveness rate of 77% because they're easy to mess up, put on incorrectly, use a weak one, etc. There are other methods out there that you should look into. Doubling up on birth control options with a condom for him and something for you is always a good idea if you can. I'd dump him. As someone who has had a series of bad interactions with birth control of many types over 20 years, A man who prioritized his pleasure over the risks to your health is not worth being in a relationship with, because they are more likely to not be there for you when you need their help. The man I chose to marry has repeatedly demonstrated that it's more important to him that I be happy and pain-free. For him, me being in pain is a libido killer. This is not the kind of partner you want. Imagine you get pregnant? You can bet he will run away, push abortion on you, or blame you forever. Please, for your own safety, leave this guy. He is not worth it. Tell him that your vagina is now closed to him. Boy, bye. He doesn't respect you. Just dump his ass and move on. How could he use the excuse that he didn't know where he crossed the line? You've had multiple conversations with him and he continues to push you towards a boundary you explicitly set. Don't walk away. Run away from this grown man-child. Yeah, he seems like the type to stealth. Yeah, it's easy for him to say the side effects aren't that bad because he isn't the one that has to deal with it. What an awe. You did great by blocking him. You have 100% the right to bodily autonomy. You don't want to take BC. Don't take it. And don't let anyone pressure you into it. That said, it can be risky to just use condoms. They're better than nothing by a fair margin. But you might want to think of what you would be comfortable using as a secondary spermicide, clocking your fertility windows, etc. I'm glad you dumped him. But considering that you are young and single, it's worth looking into another method you can add. For extra safety, the copper IUD is one of the most effective options and hormone-free. Condoms can be used in addition to reduce the risk of STDs. I have never once in my way too long life tried to explain a man's dick to him. Not once. I figure they know about their dick better than I do. But these men and their opinions about our sexual organs and functions? Fuck off to the sun. Every time I hear one start, I just think about what's motivating the mansplaination. They think we're liars. That we're too emotionally volatile to be rational or observational. That we lack the thinking ability to track phenomena. It's based on an opinion of women that says women are stupid liars, and I won't hear it. Dump the guy. Are you dating this guy in the flesh IRL or just talking to him? While he is a jerk, I think it's stupid of you to not have any birth control. You yourself control. Stick to your boundaries. That was a huge step for you, and now you're letting someone question it. That isn't the healthy foundation to a successful relationship. Your body is yours. You can choose to not take hormonal birth control. He can choose to not have sex with someone who isn't on contraception, and that's his body. I chose a copper IUD at 30 after almost a decade of using only condoms. Condoms worked for me, and I only conceived when I wanted to. I did try hormonal BC for a little while, but multiple methods made life unbearable in different ways. My experience with the IUD is probably better than average. But I haven't stopped using condoms because there is more than contraception to think about.
If you enjoyed this video, please check out our playlists full of similar content. Epic Haircast is like doom scrolling for your ears. Please like, share, and subscribe.